Hello. Let's make sure everybody can hear me today. Welcome to Conscious Business Talks. Today is the first day of at least a week or for the next foreseeable future that I'm going live Monday to Friday. And so instead of going weekly, we're going to try going live every week night. I'm a little scared doing that, I gotta confess, just because I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna fit everything? But this particular project, this endeavor, is so important to me because it is tied to people's well-being, their livelihood, and their ability to make their choice about their own life. And I absolutely stand for that. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to make it happen. We're going to just be there and spread the message on this so we can get as much interest on this particular message as possible. So I'm going to be going and appearing on as many of different channels and shows that I possibly can. Somebody asked me today, what is it? What's in it for people? Why should they trust you? And I thought to myself, wow, that's a really, really, really good question. What is in it for them? I thought was kind of there, but maybe it's not. It's not as apparent to somebody who doesn't know me. So why should people trust me? Because in times like this, what I have stood for before, what I have done with my clients, with people I know, with the numerous people that I've helped over the years, that's one thing that they know to be true of me, that I go out of my way to find solutions that get missed in a lot of different cases, and I don't give up on things. I make them happen. Why? Because people are important to me. People have always been central in the choices that I've made, and people are important to me. Their choice, their well-being, their ability to live their best life is important to me because it's important to me that I stand for the things that I call important. I own them. I want to live my life as a reflection of them. I want to share them with other people. And on that last day that I'm here on this earth, I get to look around at the ripple effects of everything, every person, every life that I touched. And I want to be able to say, this was such a kick-ass life. I would do it all over again. That's what I want. I know this life is bigger than me. This isn't just me. This life that I call my own touches people every single day. This life is meant for more. I'm meant for more. The people who inhabit this tiny dot in the universe together with me, they're meant for more. And together we can make things that just makes my soul dance. We can make those things happen. And when it comes to people's choice, people's choice, their ability to feel their freedom, in my opinion anyway, is tied to their creativity, their ability to show up so powerfully in their life and make things happen that just make this experience of life better for everybody. That's my belief. That's my reason for the things that I do. And as to what's in it for people who choose to trust me and opt in to share their information so I and other amazing people working with me can analyze this information and see these are the needs, these are the trends that are emerging, this is what is needed to help people in this experience. of life in this particular point in their life, so they can continue to make their decisions and live their absolute best lives. That's what's on offer. To bring in the partners, whether it is other employers who are going to cherish and really appreciate the gifts that you have, the knowledge, the skills, that experience that you bring to the table. Other resources and tools that you may need to showcase your skills, knowledge, and experience, so that people know what you're bringing to the table, and whether they or somebody else they know has need of it. Or perhaps and best of all, the chance for you to look at your life and see, is this still fitting me the way I want it to? And that's the opportunity I really see in front of everybody going through what this quote unquote perceived threat is. And I'm not making light of the threat. I'm just choosing to look at the opportunity behind the threat, right? Because it's not like I haven't walked through hard times or choices or ultimatums before. I have. I know what it feels like. I was having a discussion with Zishan, and we were talking about, she is so amazing. She's so passionate about the things that she believes in, and her heart is so, it stands out and it shines in the way she invests her passion, her time, and her way of fighting for it is actually inspiring. It makes me so happy and so proud to know her. But her way of looking at it, sometimes it's actually kind of cracks me up, because she and I are looking at both the same thing, and really we're on the same point, but our way of looking at it is sometimes from opposite ends of it. We come to the same conclusion, we're shooting for the same thing, but we look at it sometimes a little bit differently. And I so appreciate that, because who needs somebody to agree with them all the time? The beauty of this life is to have amazing, smart, creative, rich, experienced people around you who are not afraid to share their viewpoint. But as I mentioned on one of the talks that we had, the show on conscious collaborations, the really big strength of it shows up when both sides are able to bring that difference of opinion in together in a way that allows both sides to see what is really on the table, to discuss it, to concede where it's not actually meeting the goal, rather than getting stuck on, this is my stance and I'm going to defend it to my last breath, right? And that's the beauty of it. She was she called herself stubborn a little today, and I disagree. To me, stubborn is somebody who doesn't give up their point of view or their stand, even when they know they're wrong. That to me is stubborn. I don't believe she is. So I just wanted to bring that up, that her passion about people who are in the employment field, like who are looking for jobs, who don't want to be self-employed, but they want to invest their time in somebody else's business to make that business grow, succeed. And she and I were talking about conscious business, the difference in conscious business, and whether or not a conscious business has need for a union. And that's a discussion for another time, but all of it arose, and it brought to me in the few minutes that I had as I was setting up for this particular show, it brought to my mind that I needed to continue talking about the banner that I had on the last show. It was actually about what is it, the best way to predict the future. And we talked around it, we never talked about it. And whether you are a business owner or you are an employee, this topic I think is pertinent to both. What is the best way to predict the future? And I'm not being like weird about it or whatever, but Alan Kay had a really good way to express it. He said the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And that particular set of words, that quote from him, inspired such a series, like incredible set of thoughts in me. I got to thinking, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So it tied into innovation, it tied into creativity, it tied into imagination, it tied it to up-leveling the playing field all at once in my mind. Like the ideas just kept sparking as to, wow, that those few words, like it's just a handful of words, but what it inspired in me was this thought that often we get onto different sides of this. You know, this person is my employer, companies are for profit only, they're not looking after my interest, that's why we need to have unions. There's all this friction. And as a conscious business owner, as somebody who actually teaches and coaches people to set up conscious businesses, that is something that is such a dinosaur old world concept to me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. That would be silly. I know it exists. It's just that just because somebody exists for a really long time and we know it's broken, it doesn't mean that we need to continue doing it just because we've been doing it for so long. That's the beauty of bringing in thoughts and ideas that combine what is really amazing from before with something that is innovative and new, and perhaps a new way of doing it. And this is where I know that labels sometimes can become detrimental to us, because when labeling something allows us to identify it, but sometimes labeling something and becoming so rigid about it and what that label represents to us also keeps us from leveraging it to its best effect. And I love the idea that as business owners, like, I know I'm always in that world of uncertainty, right? Even when you are like, you know, I love to think of it like as we get into our little islands, don't we? So as business owners, we kind of say, wow, we're always in a world of uncertainty. But the truth is, as human beings, we're always in a world of uncertainty, even when we have secure jobs and we know the type of work we're doing every day. Because there's nothing that's specifically actually certain about this life. Case in point, look at what's happening around us with this pandemic. People who have tenured positions are facing ultimatums. Why? Is it not that they love their life and they want to live a beautiful, rich life with their loved ones? Did they just put up their hands all of a sudden today and decide, hey, I don't really want to live, so it's okay, I'll make a choice this way or that way? And I'm talking about both sides of that debate. It actually saddens me a little bit that in picking sides of anything, you know, red versus blue, yes versus no, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, all of these things, we forget that each side is really making the best decision based on the information they have. And there is a way to respect people's choices. We do it every day in one way or another. But when it becomes politicized, it's really hard to remember that there is a quote unquote third alternative. There is actually a book about who wrote that? Was it Stephen Covey? I have to look it up. Oh my gosh. So you guys, somebody should look it up. There is a book. It's actually called The Third Alternative. And it caught my attention because I thought to myself, isn't that cool? We always get stuck between door one, door two. But what if there is a third alternative that allows you to pick an option that we haven't considered? And to me, conscious business is that third option. It is a way of doing things that allows us to respect the needs of both sides, but bring them together in a way that allows both to prosper without that distrust of either side. I'm not into micromanaging anyone. That was one of my pet peeves when I was in corporate. And my employers left me alone because I delivered results that were over and above what anybody asked. And my ask was, leave me alone. Give me my A's and O's and leave me alone. I will not be micromanaged. It put my hackles up. On the other side, why are people micromanaging? Because there is distrust. There is also distrust on the employee side, who literally, if an employee shows up every day to just punch a clock and do nothing than the bare minimum just to get a paycheck, to me, that's not really showing up for what this life has on offer for you. So, frankly speaking, this particular project that I'm investing my time in setting up, and I'm putting resources, including money, into it. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because as human beings, it is important to me that people have the ability to make the best decision possible for their well-being and those who they love. And for me, that includes people who are not necessarily my friends and family originally, but my clients become, like, I love my clients. I absolutely love my clients. I would even go out as far as to say nobody can love my clients the way I love my clients. Why? Because to me, there is a relationship of trust. I have the same for anything that I enter into. I don't enter into lightly. For me, it's a relationship. It's a partnership. Some relationships you don't continue because they don't fit, they don't align. And right now, when there are ultimatums on the table, and I genuinely feel that every day I sit on this and I don't spread the message, somebody's choice is being sacrificed, that grates on me. It really does. So I want, as a business owner, I love the thought of being able to predict the future. I want to create my life with the choices that are not just available to me, but the ones that I bring into life, into existence, because of my ability to create, to be creative, to pull in resources from around me, including amazing people, and create something that didn't exist before. That taps into innovation and creativity for me. And when Alan Kay was talking about the best way to predict the future is to invent it, that's what he's talking about. So what I want to do with this particular project is, frankly, invent the future. What life do you want to live? What do you want to bring into existence? Just like I said before, I could stand here all day long and complain about how unfair certain things are in life. What difference does it make? Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it doesn't make a difference. I can stand here and complain all day long, and it doesn't change anything. But what if I look at it and say, what is there that I'm not looking at that I can invent, I can bring into existence that didn't exist before, and create opportunities for people and myself? Because God help me, every time I've helped somebody else, it's opened my mind to bigger and better ideas. So in helping others, it helps me. And I don't, so frankly, how awesome is the ability to invent the future? So you deal with what you don't know by creating a predictability and building it into it. I love that. It literally juices me up. I was pretty tired today. I have to say, and I know it's because there's so much happening, and I'm trying to fit in all the things that seem really important, that sometimes I'm running low on resources. And that's when I put in some fuel of things that make me feel better. I choose to put self-care in. Not that great at it yet, but I'm working on it. But I choose to put self-care in because this is so important. It's bigger than me. It is so much bigger than me. And that's why all of you are needed. Those who need help, those who can be strong partners and provide help, those who come and stand together to say, how cool is that? An ability, the choice, the opportunity for us to look at what's on offer, look at our life and say, is this the life I would have designed? And this is my opportunity to look at it and design it. That's what's on offer with this. Let's invent the future instead of being caught in worries and concerns and fear, especially fear, because it is all around us. I'm inviting you to act in spite of it, because I am. Because the other option for me, it's not an option. It doesn't fit me. So I'm going to take a look at let me see. Zishan says, important thing to ask yourselves. Agreed. I think the best questions are always the ones that you start with for yourself, because it's so easy to get into us versus them kind of a thought. And whenever I catch myself in that, that's usually a good point, a good checkpoint for me to bring awareness and consciousness into it, to see, to say, is it really? Because I'm pretty sure as human beings, we're all connected. So is it really us versus them, or is there something that I'm missing in that? And whenever I have put myself in the other person's shoes, things change a little bit. And yeah, so for sure. And Matt says, I love how you're speaking to leaders and doers at the same time. Yes, because to me, they're in a conscious business, they come together, don't they? Whenever I'm hearing arguments for minimum wage, raising, lowering, not being enough, being too high, it becomes this tug of war for me, right? Because I'm like, wow, it's again this thing about what is it's trying to address? What's the goal? When we get caught up on one aspect of something and losing sight of the overall like big goal as to what is both like beneficial for everybody, it kind of defeats the purpose. Then we get kind of caught in the weeds and forget where we're trying to go. So in a conscious business, the way I look at it is the leaders can't lead without somebody who has the desire and the need for their leadership. And if you're not thinking about the people you're leading and their needs being primary for you, and And those needs, by the way, also encompass the needs of the business, because if the business doesn't exist, then you can't really provide for the people who are working in the company, can you? So it becomes this beautiful weaved pattern. You can't pull the fabric apart without tearing it. The people who are within the organization are working to make the organization succeed. Profit has to be part and parcel of the whole thing for everybody. Whenever only profit at no matter what the cost becomes the only objective, everybody loses, including the business. And if you don't believe me, look at giants, well-known brands and names that have closed because their focus shifted from long-term benefit for all to short-term share price. People who are bashing down, again, more labels, let me throw those in, whether it's capitalism, socialism, communism, again, labels, what are they? Systems. Whenever people lose sight, even when they're bashing capitalism, they're forgetting that really, I'm not talking about Friedman's version of this. I'm not talking about what leads the focus to short-term gains. I'm talking about a business that appreciates the people. And that's, again, with this particular project, that's what's on offer here. Either find the businesses that have need of your skills and want to support your choice, or if you have the inclination, the desire, and the resources, start one. That's the beauty of an open democracy, that you do have that choice. I'm inviting you to look at your life and see, did I design it or did I pick it by default? This is an invitation for designing your life. Picking who you want to share it with, professionally too. Does this fit you? How do you showcase yourself so that those who have need for your skills are able to see you? That's what's on offer here with this particular project. With that, I am going to wrap up today's show, and we're going to meet again on Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific, and you guys can do the math for Australia and UK. But it was so fun sharing this time with you. It's fabulous to hear your thoughts, and I really appreciate your support in spreading the message for this particular endeavor around. So you know what? I actually forgot, didn't I, to share the Phoenix page link. There it is again. It's holisticgrowthstrategies.com/Phoenix. PHOENIX. Love having you here. Please share that with anybody you believe can benefit from it, whether they are people who need to look for different jobs and different opportunities, or people who can be strong partners and offer those opportunities, or anybody else who has resources who can share them with us so we can make this a really amazing endeavor for everybody to participate in conscious business style. So have a great evening, day, wherever you're tuning in from, and I'll see you Monday at 8:30 Eastern. Cheers.